Hi everybody. Okay, so recently I came across this gorgeous pattern by Jeremy Shafer for a pinwheel, and I wanted to do a project with my kids for origami, so we made the pinwheel according to Jeremy Shafer's instructions on this video, and works pretty well. And you can make it spin by blowing on it. It's really cool. And if you drop it, it spins. If you just, and you can do it either way. It'll spin upside down or right side up. And I thought that although I liked it a lot, I thought I could make another version with 5 blades rather than 4 if I start with a pentagon. So here I have a pentagon, and I just folded this pentagon and cut it a minute ago, and I'll start by showing you how to make the pentagon, starting with a square sheet of paper. So first step is just to fold in half. Then we fold this bottom left corner to the top and crease at the top left corner. This is one way of doing the pentagon. I've done it another way too, but I do like this way. Then we fold the top left corner down to the bottom edge and creasing at the bottom left corner. Open up. Next we bring the bottom right corner of the model to the crosshairs of the X we just created and make a crease. Now this same corner that we brought here, we're going to bring over to this edge, creasing at the bottom point, making a point there. Now we bring this bottom left edge up here, and we bring this bottom edge to be adjacent, parallel to this edge here, creasing at this corner, the bottom. We flip the model over, fold it in half at the corner, right at this seam, match up the edges there, crease it, and now we know where to cut. We cut right along this line of this flap. Cut right here. And you can use this to start fires with in the fireplace. And open it up. Doesn't want to open up. Open it up. And there's the pentagon. So now, in order to make our pinwheel with 5 blades, what we do is we want to make essentially a water bomb base with a pentagon rather than with a square. So it's similar to a water bomb base with a pentagon. What we need is every other fold to be mountain and valley, with the corner folds. Sorry, this is a corner fold and this is an edge fold. See how this fold terminates at the edge, this fold terminates at the corner. So the corner folds are going to be mountains and the edge folds are going to be valleys. So this one's proper, this one's good to go. This one needs to be turned to a valley. Then we have a valley that is a corner. It needs to be turned into a mountain. We have to turn this edge. This terminates at the edge, so it's a mountain that needs to be turned into a valley. Here's a corner, terminates at the corner, so it needs to be turned into a mountain. That terminates at the edge, so it needs to be a valley. This one's good. It's a mountain that terminates at the corner, valley, mountain, valley. So what you'll end up with is every other fold will be mountain or valley. And then we want to, actually, this is concave right now. I want to make it convex like that by popping up the bottom, and then I'm going to tuck in all of my valley folds and make essentially a water bomb base. And it'll be uneven in pieces. There's 3 flaps on this side and 2 flaps on this side, because there's a total of 5 flaps, but it doesn't matter because I want to turn all the flaps to one side anyway. So now all the flaps are facing the same direction. Now in Jeremy Shafer's video, the way he did it was he faced all the layers to the top like this, and then the solid point that doesn't have layers at the bottom, and he faced the top, he faced to the right. Now that makes a pinwheel, when you do it this way, that spins counterclockwise, and I like it to spin clockwise. So I'm facing it to the left like this, and this will make a pinwheel that spins clockwise. Now what we need to do is we need to fold this edge, and consequently the rest of the figure, into 8 sections, and we do that by halving and halving and halving. So first I fold the bottom corner to the top, and I'm trying to take any wrinkles out as I go. And you're folding through 10 layers here because there's 5 sides times each one is 2 thick, so it's 10 layers, so you have to crease it pretty hard. And it'll get some wrinkles, it's fine. So I've got 2 sections. Now I have to have each one of those and then have each of the subsequent ones. And so I'm going to have this one. Make a sharp crease here. Okay, now I want to have this top section. Oh, and by the way, when I have the top section, it's going to want to fan out. You see, when I turn it, it's going to want to fan out. I don't want it to fan out. I want to prevent that somewhat. So I'm going to hold everything solid as I do it. get a nice strong crease there. You can even use this handle of the scissors to get you a nice strong crease, or some kind of letter opener or piece of bone. So now we've got 4 sections. We want to have each one of these again. So again, since I'm starting on the bottom, I'm going to hold everything together so it doesn't fan out. Fold it like that. Okay. And it did fan out a little bit, and that's okay. It still will work. What I learned is this model doesn't have to be incredibly precise. You have to try for precision, but you might end up with imprecision, and that's okay. I'm gonna have the top pointed part. Now the way to have these middle sections is, you can do it a couple ways, but probably the easiest way is you want to bring the point to this line here. Because see, this is 3 big. This is basically 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections, and you want to make it into 1.5. So I want to have the 3. I don't know if that made sense. And but essentially, if you follow what you see, it'll work. And notice how this fold lines up with this fold, this mountain and this valley. So that's what we do there. And then we do a similar idea. We bring this line to this fold, the bottom to this fold here, and hold everything. Try to keep everything from fanning. Bring it. Crease it. And unfold. And now, as you can see, we have 8 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we flip it over. Looks a lot cleaner on this side. And you can see where we've used the you can see how these creases are stronger where I've used the scissors. So I'm going to just reinforce these creases with the scissors. So now I have some stronger creases there. Now this is the part that could be a little tricky. What we want to do next is we're going to fold each of these sections in half, but we're going to fold them diagonally in half. So we're going to about there would be about half. So on the right side we want to fold it in half, but on the left side we want to terminate at the bottom tip. We do that each time, so the fold is going to go like that. The fold will follow the line of the scissors. See, like that. About like that. And it's going to be valleys. So I'm going to fold this up here, and I'm not going straight across because that would fold the entire section in half. I'm going to fold it, and as you can see, I'm angling the fold down, and we want to try for precision, but we probably are going to end up with some imprecision because we have so many layers that we're folding through, but that's okay. And get a nice crease there. You see the diagonal nature of this fold. We want to do this on all these sections. So the next one, see, is here. This one you can leave folded or unfold either way. It's just gonna, that fold will remain. Now, I start by just kind of doing the right side. Sometimes it's even easy. You can start on the left too, but just it's kind of a feel your way through thing. So starting on the right side, and I'm molding this fold at the bottom corner at the left side. You see that? What we start to get on the left side is a curvature, and the curvature will be more pronounced as we go. And then you can get a nice crease. Now I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm just folding this a bit so that I'll be able to work with this section only. And again, I'm going to get this fold going from the right side, and I'm going to guide it down to this bottom edge, bottom corner like that. So it's right there. And the paper will almost, depending how you do it, the paper will be essentially even flat, or just have a small fold right there at the edge. I get a crease there. Go to my next section, give it a little fold down at the top, this next section, top fold. Start doing my fold. And you see how I worked it to the diagonal there. And you see that nice curve there? See how the blades curve? We're making that curve. Give it a crease. Go to the next section. I got that halfway on the right, and now I'm going to work it to the corner there on the left. There we go. Oh, that's a nice looking curve, huh? Next one. As we go, by the way, in order to curve it, these corners might not line up. It might start overlapping to the right. See that? I don't know if you can see how it overlaps there. And then we got 2 more sections to go. This one's going to seriously overlap. It's kind of easier to start from the left on this one. And then this final section, we just bring this edge alongside this edge by folding it halfway across the triangle, like so. Okay, and again, nice curve there. And then, so this is the cool part. Now we open it up, open up all these layers. I'm just pulling apart the layers. And now I want to end up with what's 1/5 of 360 degrees. That's the angle. Since there's 5 layers, I want 1/5 of 360 degrees between each one, and I'm gonna try to estimate that. And this is not important because you can even that out later. So now I separate the next few layers off of there, pull out that guy. And I'm going to pull out the next couple layers. See how it's taking shape, and pull out this last layer here. Now I have my 5 layers, and what we have are all the folds are in place now, and all that's left to do is reinforce the folds and collapse the model like it should be. And you see I've tried to make it as even as possible here. I've tried to make it even between the 5 so that the 5 layers are all spread out evenly. And on the bottom it looks like so, and I like to now flatten these bottom folds and make it nice and pretty on the bottom. So I'm just creasing the bottom folds now, making it regular. There's going to be a little white showing on the bottom, and that's just fine. I've got a pretty star there. Now in order to collapse it, what we do is, this is a little bit of the tricky part, it took a little practice, but you push down and twist. In this case we twist counterclockwise because it's going to fly clockwise. Down and twist. See that? How I'm flattening the blades? The blades are going to flatten down by pushing down and twisting. And they're a little bit uneven, and we'll fix that. This tip is a little tricky to make perfect. I don't think I've done a perfect one yet, but as long as the tip isn't so important that it looks perfect. But this is pretty even, but the way I learned to even it out is to count how many folds are between each one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 folds. This lines up with the 4th fold. 1, 2, 3. This one lines up with the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. This one lines up with. So got to turn this one some. And as you, it's dynamic because as you line one up, the rest are going to be misaligned. So I'm just going to keep twisting them and adjusting. Then it's looking better. That's looking much better. What I'm doing is just pulling the blades to where I feel that they look even. And I can check it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 5 folds between each one. So now, what I have to do, what you really want to do is now crease all your folds. Crease all these folds. It'll fly much better if you go through and crease them all, because you've only creased them when they were 10 layers thick. Now you're going to reinforce those creases when they're a single layer thick. that's about it. Now I have the 5-bladed pinwheel by Jeremy Shafer, adapted from the 4-bladed one. And there it spins pretty well when I blow on it. And let's see how it does if I drop it. It works pretty well. Thanks everybody.